let's look at the question of how does somebody eat if they're working out. So let's say most people watching this should be working out. How does somebody fit in their meals? What's the best way to have? What's the best way to eat? Sorry, before a workout, or does that matter? Or after a workout, or does meal timing make a difference at all?
It's an excellent question, and in reality, the answer is it depends. If you're someone like myself, okay, I'll use myself. I work out 3 or 4 times a week, right? I hit the gym 3 times. I play in a men's league hockey once a week. I walk my dog. And that's about it. Not like when I was a young athlete practicing 2 hours a day playing games. But as someone who's just a recreational exerciser at this point in their life, I don't have super specific workout nutrition protocols, and nor would I recommend that to people.
Sure.
As long as you are bookending your sessions within an hour or 2 on each end, so an hour or 2 before, an hour or 2 after, having a reasonable sized meal, some protein, some carbs, fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, you're golden. And the research seems to indicate, from what we can tell right now, that for most people, most of the time, you don't have to be anal about it.
Yeah.
So a good, quality mixed meal a couple hours before, you go to the gym for an hour, you come home, you shower, make yourself a nice meal, you're good to go. Now, if you're an elite level athlete or even an amateur athlete, but you participate in, races and competitions and you're at a higher level where every little edge counts, certainly there are some things you can do, obviously ensuring, appropriate hydration, water intake during your event. If you have a long duration event, getting in a mixture of proteins and carbs to help keep your blood glucose up and facilitate greater recovery. If you are, let's say, in the NBA or you're in the NFL, having some Gatorade on the sideline, probably not going to hurt, right? Versus having just water. It may not help, but it's certainly not going to hurt you, and it might help you. So at that level, it's worth taking things. If you're competing in round robins or things like that, where you have multiple events in a day, that's where timing can be a little bit more important. Simply because you have less time to eat certain things, you have less time for food to digest. So protein, carbohydrate drinks and things of that nature can be really helpful in that context.
Cool. So let's go a little bit more granular on this if we can.
Sure.
Because I find sometimes that there's a little bit of a separation, not in all cases, but for somebody who's a performance athlete, having something right after their workouts probably very important. For somebody who's looking, again, just a casual exerciser who's looking to lose fat as their main goal, there's obviously research that shows that not having anything actually increases growth hormone after a workout. So, and even beforehand, it's what about working out on an empty stomach in a fasted state? Is that more beneficial when it comes to losing weight or losing fat versus having something 1 or 2 hours ahead of time?
Sure. And that's a common question, and my answer is theoretically, yes. In practical real-world scenarios, probably not going to make much difference, simply because in the grand scheme of things, it's total intake versus total output that ultimately matters. So if you train on an empty stomach and you're able to oxidize 10% more fat than me when I train, having eaten 2 hours before, if my fueled workout, I can therefore work out harder. Even if you burn a higher percentage of calories from fat, if I burn more total calories, ultimately that's what's going to matter.